Thanks. I love it. I really love it here. I think my favourite thing about St Helens so far was when I went to the rugby club and I got given a used kit and it felt like I'd been given the key of the door. So yeah, I love it. I love the warmth of people here as well. You walk about and people go, oh yeah.
So where's that kit now?
That kit's at home framed. I got it framed because I was really touched by it. I mean, it's really grotty. It's got quite dubious stains on it. But I was like, oh, that's a really touching thing to be given, because it's like your fast track to kind of being a St Helenser or being a St Helenser. Well, the whole point of Takeover Fest is that, you know, it's about using spaces here that sometimes people don't think can be performance spaces. So like the Hotties and that kind of bit of concrete that's on the other side of the world of glass, going, well, why can't that be a theatre? Why can't we be in the back of a taxi? Why can't we use a disused shop down the road? And then hopefully the idea of that is that it makes it feel exciting. It's not like you're going to the Odeon cinema to pay extra money to sit in the premiere seats. You're actually going to pay like a really decent price for something that you'll never experience again. And I think that's important. I think that's really important to do. And it feels new and it feels exciting. And of course, sometimes these things feel a bit dangerous, but good, let's feel a bit dangerous. When I first came, and Heart of Glass was quite new, there was a lot of, nothing happens in St Helens, nothing happens here. And I was like, loads of brilliant stuff happens here. And it's got such a warmth and such a history and a culture. And I think like we can all get a bit lost in the place that we live. And I think that's the brilliant thing about Heart of Glass, is just sometimes it helps to remind you how brilliant the place that you live is and how brilliant the people are. And so I guess that's what's been quite infectious about this. And I guess Takeover Fest, all of it comes from knowing that people are really up for a laugh. People are really interested in things happening. And so it was about creating things in the back of taxis, in disused shops, over at the Hotties, where people could be involved. And so far, it's kind of working and people are enjoying it. We've had, I'm really looking for the big Christmas knees up, which will be camp at the Citadel. Not only because the Citadel is such a beautiful space, but it's going to be the moment where I think everyone in this town lets their hair down, has a couple of snowballs. I hope they're doing snowballs. And like we have a proper laugh with each other. And I think for me, that's going to be the highlight of the programme.
So someone who's not been to camp before, tell us about the show.
Camp is a bit like the stuff that's on our television on the weekend. So like Britain's Got Talent, X Factor, but it's good. So it's like Britain's Got Talent, but better, and also a little bit worse. And it's a little bit weird, but not weird enough that your nan wouldn't like it. So my mum and my nan love camp. It's the one show that I do that they think, yeah, we really like that. You know, there's an opera singer, there's a tap dancer, there's a hula hooper, and then there's me. And it's kind of about the British obsession with kind of campness and silliness and making a fool of ourselves and doing that really publicly, and just about having a laugh. People in the room who are up for having a bit of a laugh, who are up for going, oh, that's a good tap dance, isn't it? Oh, she does skipping well. Like, we've got a skipper in it. And for me, when, you know, trying to sell that to be like, oh yeah, it's a 5-minute skip act to Beyonce. People are like, what? She's going to skip to Beyonce? Yeah. Well, Legato is somebody who I greatly despise. I have a real hatred for Legato, and it took me a lot of soul searching to allow Legato to be on my programme. We are thick as thieves. We call each other Ebony and Ivory because we're exactly the same person. But she's black and I'm white, so we affectionately call each other Ebony and Ivory. And she is going to be taking over the cone at the World of Glass, which I just think is going to be brilliant because it's such an icon of this town that there's this like building on the edge of town that you kind of go past. And so we're putting an opera singer in it. And not only is that an opera singer, that's an opera singer who's also a drag queen. And a really good performer and a really great drag queen and a really mediocre opera singer. No, he's really amazing, really, really amazing. And so we're really lucky to be able to have George for one night. And it's really limited audience because, of course, we can only get a certain amount of people in that space. And so it will be intimate. We'll have to have hot toddies to keep ourselves warm, but it will be totally worth it. And I assure you that everyone will be in tears by the end. He has this power of just being able to make you cry, just like, like I've found myself in every legato show just crying like a baby, because sometimes people can make you sit, people can sing, and that can give you a response. And I'm not talking like in an Adele kind of way. I'm talking like in a kind of Nina Simone kind of like, get straight to you kind of way. Jack is a young artist that I've supported for quite a bit of time and helped develop his solo show. And he's just like a brilliant performer. And he comes from like a really small town outside of London, which was voted one of the happiest places to live. Unfortunately, it was voted one of the most happiest places to live the month that his father passed away. And so this show is about how we as humans deal with grief. Now, that doesn't sound like a fun thing, but he makes grief funny. And I think that's a big thing that we can take away from Jack, is that he makes us laugh at something that's ultimately quite sad and will affect all of us, and something that we'll all have to go through in our life. And this show is in the back of a taxi. So you and three mates get to go on a taxi ride with Jack, and he tells you these kind of funny stories about his dad, who was a taxi driver. And it's touching, it's really touching. But it's, again, it's not frightening, it's not scary, it's just you having a chat with Jack in the back of a taxi. Yeah, that's by Talia Randall. And Talia is a spoken words artist. Or I'm not going to say that actually, because she's not. She's an artist, and she works with words. And now I'm making her sound even more of a beep. But she's doing a thing called Edible Poetry, which will be at the Hunt and Dutton Cafe one weekend, and you get to play with food and make silly poems. That's all I can say about it, because otherwise I'll give too much away about it. But it's a good laugh. Again, it's that thing where like we're kind of tricking you into writing poetry. Because people, if you say to them, "Can you write a poem?" they go, "No." And then if you go, "Right, well, do you want to get some spaghetti words?" See, I'm giving away too much. Then you can get some poetry on the go.
I was going to say, we're talking alphabet, spaghetti and potatoes. Smile.
We are talking alphabetic spaghetti, yeah. Which is like, just reminds me of being about 5 years old and being disappointed that none of the letters that I wanted were in it. Or they were broken.
Well, they were capitals, so you're always shouting as well.
Yeah. Alphabetic spaghetti is quite violent. Yeah, I think that's what we've learnt today. If we've learnt nothing, it's that alphabetic spaghetti is angry. It is a rave for children, and instead of giving them booze, we're giving them cereal. And there will be drag queens DJing, model balloons. We've got a band which will be performing who do songs about making bread, which I love. They're really good songs. I'm pretending that this is for children. This is actually just me playing out my idea of an ideal night out, which is just really juvenile. I just want to eat a bowl of cereal. I want to see a drag queen playing pop music. I want some balloon modelling. And I want us to all have a bit of dance to the hokey cokey. I mean, to me, that sounds ideal, but unfortunately, it doesn't. It's not your average adult night out, so it's for kids. And it's, I guess, you know, I remember being a kid many moons ago, where and feeling like, why can't I go into things? Why am I not allowed to do this? And so it's about breaking that down and going, yeah, kids can have a rave as well. Kids are probably the best ravers because they don't care what anyone else really thinks of them. They won't ever laugh. They'll get high on E numbers from the cereal, and they're just like up for having a laugh. And I tell you what, it won't be violent at the end of it. Like most adult nightclubs, it'll be kids going home and thinking, wow, I had a really good day out that time with my mates.
If you're a parent taking them, what's the plan for them?
Parents can come, I guess, if they have to, if their children need to be supervised, I think. But we're trying to limit those numbers. So, if you've got, kids on your street that you want to bring, and maybe you can be responsible for all of them, that'd be great, because I want there to be more children than adults. But we're asking kids, the tall ones, the parents, is that what they're called? Parents, to bring a toy that we can donate to a local children's charity. And, because Christmas is a difficult time for lots of different people. And so it helps us go, look, okay, we'll give you some respite from your kids for 4 hours, but you give us a toy, and then we'll give that to a kid who might not get one at Christmas. So, it's good for the soul coming to Kids Rave, but it also means that you can watch your kids get high off E-numbers and balloon modelling, which I think is going to be, I can't wait to see what that's like. It's the best thing in the world, because they're kind of unadulterated. They'll just tell you what they think. So we've done this project, and we still do this project called Podium, in which we put children on a podium near adults who are enjoying themselves, so like near restaurants, near cafes, and then we give them megaphones to shout at a bunch of adults about what they think is important to them. And, children tell you the truth, and, they don't believe in war, they don't know why other people have to die, they're very moralistic, they don't believe in evil, and so you get to hear what it's like to be a good human through kids. So I guess that's why I'm interested in children, because I think they're the next generation. They're the ones who are going to be looking after us, and they're going to be making decisions about our society, and so we should give them a voice, but we should also give them the right tools, and thinking how they can make that society a better place. Oh my God, I sound like Princess Di.
I thought
Love
you were
that.
going to say we should give them a rave then.
We should give
They're our future, so we should give them a rave.
I believe children are the future, so we should give them a rave, as the well-known Janet Jackson song goes. The DJ is somebody who's been in the charts, actually. She's a producer. She is currently recording Example's next single. So it's a bit of a coup that we've got her. And she DJs across the world for tall people, not for small people. And I've managed to convince her to DJ for small people in St Helens. And her name's Jodie Harsh. And she's quite a famous drag queen. She's kind of associated with people like Amy Winehouse and Example, and lots of other celebrities that I don't really care about. And so it's really great that she's coming to do this, and like she's going to treat it like a proper set, like a real proper set, but for small people. But she'll be playing like silly pop and like daft music. And I just think it'll be great for kids to see what a drag queen looks like. I wish when I was 8 years old, I knew what a drag queen was like. I wish that was like, oh right, that's a job. Oh, you can be that person. Okay. Lots of them have been my friends for many years. And so I'm like, oh, do you remember that diptyque candle that I got you at Christmas? Well, I've got this thing where I need you to DJ for a bunch of kids. So then they can't say no. But also people know that I'm not going to exploit anyone. I think a lot of people have fear. Like when people say, oh, camp's not for me, it's about this idea that they think they're going to come in a room and we're going to somehow go, right, take off all your clothes and we're going to embarrass you. And it's not about doing that. It's about kind of going, let's all have a laugh together. Let's learn something with each other. Let's share something with each other which isn't on the telly. Let's get out of our living rooms and like talk to each other, and not to this thing, this thing, and this thing, and that thing, and that one. Don't need it. We can talk to each other. Do you remember that? Do you remember talking? And so I think people know that, like if they come and do it, it's going to be a laugh. So Jodie knows that coming to a kids' rave, it's going to be Scottee's version of a kids' rave. There are things to do. St Helens is a brilliant place, and that the people here are kind and warm and full of history, and it's about just showing that in a way that people have that epiphany themselves. Because if I came in and went, hey guys, St Helens is amazing, and look at all these local young women and the history here, they'd be like, go back to the south. But because it's come from other St Heleners, and it sounds true, and it is true. And so I'm really proud that you know, we've been able to put together this program, and it's, even if it means that 2 people go away thinking, oh right, I want to do a haunted walk, or I want to do something in the library, then kind of mission accomplished, right?